students were given a choice of 4 different roles, or rather assigned one of 4 roles. Students were either selected to be the mother of Anthony Stokes, advocating for her son to have the heart transplant. They were the doctor who was recommending the child not receive the heart transplant. They were the mother of a patient next in line for a heart transplant who had actually done and complied with doctor's orders, or they were an SCLC advocate advocating on behalf of the Stokes family. So each student was given one of those 4 roles in their groups, and they had to really make a point or an argument for that. They were assigned a role based on the opposite of what they believed, so that they would thoroughly be able to provide a claim and a counterclaim and know both in the actual writing portion of the assignment. All right, guys, we are now ready to begin. What you are going to do is you need to transfer notes from your anchor book to your note card, because that's what you will use in your debate time. I'm going to give you an additional 5 minutes for your role. Your time starts now.
Okay, so it's really difficult for me to write from this viewpoint because I don't really believe on the side that I was given to write from. So
Diamond, why do you think I gave you that particular person's viewpoint to argue from?
I think you gave me this to challenge what I'm saying, so maybe I can look at the question from a different point of view, so I can understand where everyone else is coming from who believes that he should receive the heart transplant.
So whose point of view do I really want you to zero in on? In this card, whose point of view matters the most?
The mother of Anthony Stokes.
So can you think about maybe your mom?
Yeah.
So if you were Anthony Stokes, how do you think your mom would feel if she was in this case?
I know she would probably be heartbroken, especially because of the reasons that they're giving the mother as to be my mom as to why her son or daughter couldn't receive the transplant. And it's many reasons as to why, but like the main reasons in here are some are considered like racist and biased. So then again, I could see where they're coming from, as in to see why he should receive the transplant.
So Diamond, you can see the mother's point of view.
Yes, sir. I can.
So can you do this assignment?
Yes.
Let's get it done. You got 2 minutes left.
All right.
All right, guys, your 5 minutes is over. We are now going to take turns, and we're going to have all of our doctors give their perspectives at the table. Doctors, you have 1 minute to make your case, and your 1 minute starts now.
And who's to say when he does get the new heart, he's not going to take care of his body? You can't say what the future can hold, and you can't say how he's going to live.
Well, it's not necessarily living in fear, because if you want something, then you're going to take care of it. It's not living in fear. You're still going to not necessarily eat what you want to eat, but you're just going to eat better and do better because you want to keep it. But I just think that it's not like he has ever shown medical noncompliance. He's just shown noncompliance in school, and that has nothing to do with taking medicine. What do you think, Haley?
I mean, yeah, honestly, it doesn't tell you at all whatsoever what exactly his non-compliant behavior was, other than fighting in school, just generally being an unruly child. That has nothing to do with whether or not he would take care of his body, whether or not he deserves to live or die.
So before we go into the actual debate part, now that you've gathered your evidence and you've looked closely at your 2 sources, I want everyone in each group to put your group member's name straight down in the column of the rubric. And we're going to talk about how I'm going to evaluate your conversation or your debate. I'm going to walk around. I'm listening for key things. Remember, I'm looking for the fact that you are now prepared to have the debate. I'm listening for each person to give me the evidence that supports the claim that you're making as the doctor, as the mother of Anthony Stokes, as the mother of the patient next in line for the transplant, or as the SCLC advocate fighting on behalf of the Stokes family. Make sure that you're bringing evidence into your debate. I'm also looking for the fact that you keep the conversation going, that you use the full time allotted for what your task is. If you are giving your opening argument as the SCLC advocate, I'm listening for that you have filled that full minute up. If you are then asking probing questions in the counter argument, I want to make sure that everybody is having a chance to give equal voice and equity to the discussion. And I'm also looking for the person who is not talking to be listening as an active listener, where you are then taking notes if necessary so that you can ask qualifying questions later. Are there any questions about the elements of our rubric taken directly from our Georgia Standards of Excellence? Doctors, you have 1 minute to make your opening argument, and your time starts now.
The demand for organs is high, and you don't want to give someone an organ when they have a history of noncompliance, and that organ could be used for someone else.
My son should receive the transplant because he has never had any medical problems until now. He doesn't drink or take any drugs, and without a new heart, he only has just 6 to 9 months to live.
Just because of his mistakes in the past or his non-compliance in other areas doesn't mean that he shouldn't get the transplant because...
So you guys did a great job on the debate. Give yourselves a round of applause. I'm very impressed with some of the critical conversation. That was it. You guys did a great job. You deserved it. So over the course of this week, as this lesson has unfolded, we've done a close read of an article from a journal about noncompliant behavior. Then we looked at a real-life case involving noncompliant behavior in a teenager kind of just like you. Then you went back and you gave your opinions using all the evidence you gathered in a debate where you took a role or took a side that may not have been your own. So can anyone tell me what has been achieved by this lesson thus far? Anyone? I don't think we've heard of, okay, Janiyah, I haven't heard a lot from you. What do you think?
I think that to become an effective writer, you have to not only be able to take the arguments that support your claim, you have to take the counter arguments that can make your claim not credible anymore and take those arguments and support your case.
Has your opinion changed from this research?
Yes, because at first I felt like he should have the transplant, and then when I got the role of a mother who also needed her daughter also needed a transplant, I was looking at it in a different perspective.
Okay, that was a great answer, Jayana. Anyone else have anything that they would like to add to that answer? Okay, Janiyah.
I feel that from learning from both sides of the article and both perspectives, that all of the evidence helps us come together to develop a more evidence-based writing for our writing when we write our arguments.
You're absolutely right, and that's exactly what we're now getting ready to do, because you're going to take all of this evidence, all the things you've learned, claim and counterclaim, and bring it together for a really good extended response on the topic. One thing to me that I really want to emphasize and show in this lesson is the use of speaking and listening. Of course, in some states, this is assessed through the summative or end-of-year assessment, but because this isn't assessed for us, some teachers omit these standards or fail to score the standards or give adequate feedback to students on how they're progressing. But to be honest, for a student to really be prepared for the 21st century, they have to be skilled at communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. And our Georgia Standards of Excellence speaking and listening standards portray that perfectly for our students.